My name's Dev, and this is From Riff to Release, a video series where I'm going to take you step by step on the process of coming up with riffs all the way to releasing a fully mixed and mastered song. In this episode, we're going to cover ideation and track rhythms for the entire song. Stay tuned. Now, I've been listening to a lot of Nevermore as of late, and I think that'll be fairly apparent with this song that I've come up with. Obviously, I haven't tracked anything beyond just kind of rough ideas. But basically, from the point of ideation, what I did was thought of something that would be a pretty cool sounding riff, and then sat down, fired up my DAW, and then just played to a click track. So I got down that initial idea and then tried to make what I would call open and close riffs around that idea. So things that fit really, really well instead of just creating essentially riff salad. And I think what I've come up with is fairly interesting. I think there's a lot of contrast in the riffs, but I will let you be the judge of that. Let's get into it. So for guitars, this is a Carillion P7 tuned to drop G with Bareknuckle juggernauts in it. I'm using Neural DSP Quad Cortex into Presonus Studio One, and I'm going to be capturing the DIs as well as a rhythm tone from this. And that'll make more sense later on when we actually kind of mix and master or kind of close out the final points of production with the song. Okay, I left an extra long ring out there just so I can leverage that for the next riff. But that's the kind of initial idea, and the vibe that I was going off of was sort of like a lot of the intros to Godless Endeavor by Nevermore, where a lot of the intro riffs tended to kind of give like a sense of wonder, a build up to what comes next. And then I will kind of do a short transition here and capture the riff, which will essentially be like the main riff of the song, like the verse. And it's a kind of scalar pattern that is probably something that Jeff Loomis would do. That being said, my skills are not the same level as his, so I don't know if I can play it as fast as I would like. Okay, now for this next part, I'm going to do a little kind of transition into the riff, which is going to be a pick scrape into a slide down from where the pick kind of meets, something like this. And then we're going to go into the riff. It's something like that, but a little less shitty. I'll just capture the pick scrape down and then we'll break it down bit by bit. That riff, because of the transitions, like the intervals between the notes of the sort of scalar piece back to down here on the first fret, is a bit of a grind. Okay, that was pretty rough, but I kind of got the first thing up until we get to the little pre-chorus riff. Unfortunately, there was a brief side quest as my camera decided to overheat. Anyways, we will get back to it. So, the point I was working on is this. Which is like the main riff, building the foundation of the song. It then transitions into a little pre-chorus riff. And then we go back to the verse riff again. Now the verse riff is going to repeat twice on this piece. And for the most part, this is like a conventional song structure. Kind of a verse, pre-chorus, build up into a verse, into a chorus, into like probably a guitar solo, into a chorus, and then like an outro. But we'll kind of see how it shapes out. The beauty with music is like you can pretty much just do whatever you want. Like it doesn't matter. There's no consequence. Something might sound terrible, but outside of that, there's really no issues with just exploring and trying different things. I think a lot of great music is derived from people defying the norms in a given genre. Now the next part, because this riff is like really hard, as I mentioned before, the little scalar section is like a bit of a grind to get right, but I need to repeat it twice, and as simple as it is to just copy and paste something, I do feel like it detracts a little bit from the overall sound. So I'm going to quickly record this part and then we'll get into the chorus. Alrighty. I quickly save it, just in case everything goes to shite. I think when I do the final version of this, because after I kind of construct everything, I am going to go down and break it down bit by bit. I'm going to probably make the second repeat palm muted, because I think that's a very Nevermore-esque thing. And it just adds a slight variation to something that would otherwise be potentially too repetitive. And this part's a little bit weird. It's gonna take a bit to get right because I got like a percussive thing going on, and like these kinds of, like the, I don't know, it's just a percussive sound. But the problem is a lot of time when you record it, to get it really consistent, you end up like almost always hitting a harmonic, so you end up having to like take like 19 takes and then just pick the best 2 to 4 depending on how many tracks you're gonna do. And this will okay, just a little over 4 minutes. I think it's sounding pretty good. I'm definitely gonna have to do a lot of work just to like clean up all the guitar stuff, but as a start state to progress to writing drums, then bass, then layers and guitar solos, and then mixing and mastering, I think it's a good place to step off. If by chance you are interested in writing riffs, then click this video. Otherwise, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.